So today I want to show you how I made this pop-up explosion card. Now I've made one of these in the past and I've done a video for it, but my videoing techniques weren't very good back then and it was all very quiet and I didn't give measurements and it was a bit rubbish. So I've redone it. This one's got a little bit of a variation on it. So when you open it up, it explodes, as you can see. So this one's a slightly different to how I would normally do it. I want to do something with a bit of a twist to how I normally do things, just to keep things interesting. But anyway, so yeah, so let's get on and I'll show you how to make this card. Okay, so for this card you're going to need either 2 square card blanks, or if you want to do your own size, which I'm doing here, I'm using a 5" by 10" piece of card, and you need 2 of those. So I've got this one for the outer and I've got a yellow for the inner. I usually did them the same colour, but I thought I'd do something a bit different today. So the one that's going to be your outer card, you need to score it at 2.5 and at 7.5. Okay, so it's 2.5 and 7.5. And with that one, you're literally just going to fold those in so you make a gatefold card. And then you can just put that to one side for now. The other piece, which is going to be your inner, which is also 5" by 10", you're going to also score at 2.5 and at 7.5. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make a little mark at 5 at the top, turn it that way, and at the bottom, so you know where your 5" mark is. Then what you're going to do is you're going to score diagonally from your 5" mark down to your bottom right hand corner, and from your 5" mark down to your bottom left hand corner. And then you can do the same again with your bottom 5" mark up to the top right hand corner and bottom 5" mark up to the top left hand corner. So we're going to do that now. So you should end up with that. So now you're going to fold your 2 gatefold folds, score lines. You're going to fold those out, so they're going to be mounting folds. And then turn your card over and the rest are going to be valley folds. So you end up with that. And if you give it a little bit of a coax, you can squish those sides in and then just give it another burnish. So you should end up with that. So now what you're going to need is, for your outside panel, you're going to need, for the front, you need 2 matte layers. I've gone with the yellow for the outside, and these 2 matte layers measure 2¼ by 4¾ You also need 2 pattern rectangles. I've gone ahead and stuck these down, and these measure 2" by 4½ and we're just going to stick those down on the outside of the card. So that's your outside done. So now what you need to do is, if you open it up, you're going to make cut 3 pieces of pattern paper for your insides. Now I don't tend to mat the inside papers just because otherwise you end up with too much bulk. So for that reason you're going to need 2 rectangles that are 4 3/4 by 2 1/4, and you will also need 1 square that is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So we're going to go and stick those down now. Okay, so now we've done the inside and the outside, all that's left to do is to decorate the inside of this. Now normally I would decorate the this middle square, all of these triangles. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off as I would normally do, and then the centre panel, I want to do something different with this one than I would normally do, just a little bit of a twist. But we're going to do the outside bits first, the perimeter first. You might think that that's a waste of paper. However, when that goes on, you are going to see the top corners there, and I do like having some paper there. If you wanted to, you just cut out triangles, but it's a real faff, and it's a lot easier just to cut out a square because you're only really missing this piece here. That's the only bit you're wasting, and obviously these edges. But the little plan I've got today will mean we don't waste all of that. So anyway, let's crack on. Right, so for these 2 outside pieces, you need a piece that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So you need to cut this in half, this square in half diagonally. But before you do it, little time-saving trick for you: if you put tape around the outside and down the middle, then it means that when you cut it, you've already got it taped. Because trying to tape a triangle can be a bit tricky. So there you go, so you can probably see I've just taped around the sides and through the middle. I'm now going to cut down that middle. So there we have it. Now obviously that's only a thin bit of tape on there, but it's still tape, it's still going to do the job. So these 2 bits we're going to stick there and there. Okay, so once you've done that, you then need 2 more squares, and these squares are 3 inches by 3 inches. And again, I would definitely tape on the back, because these you're going to cut into quarters. So you're going to cut them in half diagonally like that, and then in half diagonally like that, both of them. So you end up with 8 squares. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Right, so now that's stuck down, what we'd normally do is we'd have another square that goes in the middle and then we'd start sticking it down. However, I want to do something a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I found a die that measures 3 inches and I'm going to die cut out just the middle part of the inner of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So we're left with that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stick that onto there. I just think that's quite pretty aperture to have. So we're going to start by sticking this side on first. So we're just going to stick this side on first, and then we'll do the centre, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, so that's the outside stuck down. So now we need to stick the middle bit down. So when you turn it over, just be very careful that you only stick this outer edge down. Obviously, if you're doing the whole thing, that's fine. If you're doing the whole square, that's fine. You're not cutting it out. That's not a problem. But if you're doing it like me, then you just need to stick that down. So I'm actually going to use glue for this. I don't have any tape that's small enough. So now we can go ahead and stick down the last remaining edge. So just fold your pieces in, squash it down, and then you can stick that bit down. Right, so then all you need to do now is to decorate it. So as you can see, it opens up. So I found a decoupaged image and decoupaged it up, as you can see. And then this little sentiment as well went with it, so I added that on. And that's just going to go on the front, like that. And I'm just going to attach it just on the one side, so then it can still open up. And then this was a little sentiment that was in the same pack, so that's going to go inside like that. Now if you wanted to, obviously, you know, you can't really write on there, so you can either write on the back, or if you wanted to, you could make that into a little card that opened up, so you could write inside there, yeah, you know, you can find a way of finding somewhere to write. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down now. So there's your finished card. So the pads, you probably saw me putting pads on. They're only very thin ones. They're really, really thin pads. They're not your normal foam pads. But I just wanted something just to raise it up a little bit. And so that's your card. So I hope you liked this video. Please like, subscribe, tell any other crafty friends you have who you think might like the channel. And I'll see you next time.